It was supposed to be my night, my birthday. But Ella, my girlfriend, showed up late, and she wasn't alone. By her side was Jason Miller, her first love. The room shifted the moment they walked in, like everyone felt the storm before it hit. A few drinks later, Jason, drunk and reckless, grabbed Ella's hand. His voice cracked as he confessed he regretted ever letting her go. Ella's eyes welled up, memories rushing back, and she admitted she regretted it too. The laughter around the table died. Suddenly, all eyes were on me. The boyfriend. The fool. The doormat. But I didn't explode. I didn't shout. I just lifted my glass, took a slow sip, and said, "Why don't you two just get back together right now?" Silence. Even Ella froze, glaring at me like I'd crossed some invisible line. Jason chuckled, tried to brush it off as a joke. My classmates scrambled to calm the air, reminding me I was supposed to marry Ella soon. But my friend Owen cut in with the truth. "Are you allowed to flirt with your ex, but he can't get upset?" Ella's face hardened, but she said nothing. Jason stumbled toward me, muttering an excuse. I nudged him aside, barely a push, yet he fell back like I'd struck him. Ella rushed to his side, panic in her voice, demanding I apologize. Even when I was innocent, somehow, I was always the villain. I met her eyes and said it, calmly but firmly. "Ella Davis, let's break up." She exploded, calling me crazy, asking how I could throw everything away over nothing. But it wasn't nothing. I'd known for years. Ella never let Jason go. I'd seen them together, seen the way she looked at him. I stayed silent then, swallowed it down, told myself love meant sacrifice. But deep inside, I was breaking. I remembered everything. High school, when I first fell for Ella. How I'd even sabotaged my own exam to make sure we'd go to the same university. Back then, Jason was my friend. I told him I liked her. He told me to go for it, then stole her for himself. I tried to forgive, tried to move on, because she loved him, not me. When Jason disappeared overseas, Ella was shattered. I was the one who picked up the pieces. I never told her where he really went, or the rich woman he chased after. I just stayed. Patient. Loyal. Hopeful that one day, she'd see me. And when she finally said yes, I believed it was real. But Jason came back. And with him, every lie, every betrayal, every late night Ella never explained. She threw words at me like knives. "Who do you think you are? What I do is none of your business." And in that moment, I finally realized, maybe I was never her choice. Maybe I was just the man who filled the space Jason left behind. I once reminded Ella, "I'm your boyfriend." She didn't even blink. Just sneered. "Boyfriend? If I say you are, you are. If I say you're not, you're not. Got it?" That was the moment something inside me broke. I stopped asking where she went at night. Stopped waiting for her calls. Deep down, I prayed she'd realize what she was losing. But she only spiraled further away. That disaster of a birthday party was the last straw. After everyone left, I noticed Ella and Jason had already slipped out together. I didn't chase. I didn't rage. I just walked home. The home I'd built for her, every corner chosen with her comfort in mind. She said my old apartment was too small, too plain. So I saved, I sacrificed, I gave her something better. A place in a nice neighborhood, a future we could grow into. But to her, it was never enough. I sank onto the sofa, staring at the photo on the wall, our first couple's portrait. My idea. I thought it'd be something to make us feel more like a family. But she hated the shoot. Her smile was stiff, her eyes elsewhere, already longing for Jason. Still, I picked the best one, hung it up proudly. And now, looking at it again, it felt like mockery. I pulled it down, ready to pack it away for good. That's when the door opened. Ella walked in. She saw me, saw the empty spot on the wall, and snapped. "Are you crazy? Didn't you make enough trouble at the restaurant? Now this." I didn't answer. Just started gathering her things. Calmly, I said, "Didn't we already break up?" Her eyes widened. She grabbed my hand. "How dare you bring that up?" I shook her off. "Why not? You said you regretted breaking up with Jason. So here, I'm granting your wish. You can both be happy now." But instead of relief, she looked furious. Confused. As if she wanted me to fight for her. I didn't understand her anymore. Then Jason appeared at the door, face twisted in guilt.
Samuel, it's not what you think.
That scene at the restaurant. It was just a joke. Don't take it seriously.
I met his eyes.
So you don't like Ella Davis?
He stammered, caught between truth and lies. I spread my hands.
If that's the case, then I'm helping you, too. Now, leave my house. Ella snapped. This is my home too.
Who do you think you are to kick me out? I almost laughed.
Your name's not on the deed. I paid for everything. Legally, this is mine. And if you don't leave, I'll call it trespassing.
Her bravado cracked.
She softened, almost pleading. Samuel, stop. My dad's waiting to celebrate our wedding. I looked her dead in the eye. Then he can celebrate with Jason Miller. Jason tugged her hand, trying to defuse things. But Ella yanked it back, glaring.
This is between me and Samuel.
Stay out of it. For once, even Jason had no words. I was drunk, tired, and dizzy from all the back and forth.
Finally, I snapped.
Ella Davis, I don't want to see you anymore.
She froze.
Tears shimmered in her eyes, real or imagined, I'll never know. Then she stormed out, Jason trailing after her, flashing me one last smug look before the door closed. That night, for the first time in years, I slept soundly. The next day, sunlight streamed in, and I did something I hadn't done in forever.
I ordered takeout.
Back when Ella lived here, I cooked every single night. Grocery runs after work, late hours in the kitchen, carefully preparing her favorites. Sweet and sour ribs, soups she craved, even lunchboxes for the next day.
I thought it was love. I thought it was devotion. But Ella never thanked me. She complained. Said the food was repetitive. Not as good as what she could buy outside. I remembered one day in particular.
I had the day off, but instead of resting, I got up early, shopped for the best ingredients, and made those sweet and sour ribs she loved. Took them straight to her office, hoping to surprise her. Her co-workers envied her, called her lucky. She even kissed me on the cheek, right there in front of them.
I thought, finally, I'd done something right.
But later, when I returned for my forgotten keys, I saw the truth. Ella stood at the trash can, dumping every single dish.
Her co-workers stared in shock. She sneered, all he knows is cooking. I'm sick of it.
Just smelling it makes me want to puke. I clenched my fists, fighting the urge to confront her right there. Pride held me back. I sat outside for hours, waiting. When she finally came home, I asked her, quietly, desperately, why she'd thrown it away.
She didn't even look at me.
Just tossed her coat aside, collapsed on the couch, and said, "Didn't you hear me? I'm tired. Stop asking stupid questions."
She knew I'd seen. And she didn't care. That day, something inside me dimmed.
I stopped cooking. I stopped trying. And still, she found new reasons to tear me apart. No matter what I did, Ella always found fault. But now, the silence feels like freedom. After dinner, I finally focus on my own life. For so long, I revolved around her, like a planet trapped in her orbit. But now, I see it clearly. I'm the center of my own world. Word of our breakup spread quickly. Everyone knew. Even my boss. Maybe he pitied me, maybe he just wanted to help, but he transferred me to headquarters, promoted me, and gave me a role that would never cross paths with Ella again. It felt like the first breath of fresh air after years underwater. And fate, in its strange way, brought someone back into my life.
Natalie White.
She'd been a familiar face back in college, a classmate from the same department. We'd gotten along well, but once I started dating Ella, I let every friendship with another woman fade.
That's who I was back then.
On my first Friday at headquarters, Natalie invited me and Owen out for dinner.
Same restaurant we used to haunt near campus. The nostalgia hit hard.
Over beers, Natalie smiled at me. I never expected we'd end up in the same company.
Neither did I.
Owen, as blunt as ever, raised his glass. Thanks to Ella Davis.
He wasn't wrong. He'd told me to leave her a long time ago.
Now that I finally had, he was probably happier than anyone.
Natalie's brow furrowed.
What do you mean?
So I told them.
Everything. From the years of being stepped on, to the birthday party that ended it all. Natalie's fist hit the table. Ella Davis is terrible.
How could she treat you like that?
For a moment, I almost laughed. Even someone who hadn't spoken to me in years felt my pain more than the woman I gave everything to. But I lifted my glass and smiled.
Let's not waste tonight talking about Ella.
Tonight's for us, for our reunion.
We clinked glasses.
And for the first time in forever, I felt light. Later, Natalie mentioned she was moving apartments. By some twist of fate, she was moving into my very own building, Gia Community. Owen grinned, slapped my shoulder, and left me with the honor of helping her. So the next day, I helped Natalie unpack. By evening, we were exhausted, laughing as we stumbled over half-open boxes. Instead of going out, we ordered takeout. She came over to my place, just one elevator ride away. And as we talked, I realized something. With Natalie, conversation flowed. Effortless. She listened, she understood, she cared. Things I never had with Ella. We were mid-laughter when the doorbell rang. Probably the delivery guy. Natalie opened it, only to scream. It was Ella. Her voice cut sharp through the air. Natalie White. What are you doing at Samuel's place?
I froze. Natalie froze. Of course, they'd never gotten along back in college. And time clearly hadn't changed that. I walked to the door, frowning. What do you want, Ella? She ignored me, her eyes blazing.
Samuel Reed, did you break up with me because of her? I knew you two had something back in college.
I almost laughed.
Ella, I only reconnected with Natalie after I transferred.
This has nothing to do with you.
Or Jason Miller.
Her face faltered. She shook her head.
Jason and I, there's nothing between us anymore. Please, believe me.
I didn't understand her.
She'd pushed me away for years, treated me like I was nothing. Now, suddenly, she was desperate to hold on. She lifted a cake from her hands, eyes wet with tears. You didn't get to eat your cake yesterday.
I brought one today.
Don't cook lunch. Let's go eat hot pot by the university, like you love. Please. Her eyes were wide, pleading, almost innocent. The kind of look that used to undo me.
But not this time. I sat back down, my voice low but firm. Ella, my stomach's bad. I can't eat spicy food. Or did you forget? And I knew she had.
Because it was her who made my stomach worse in the first place.
That year, we'd just started working.
Both of us desperate to shine, to prove ourselves. And since Ella hated entertaining clients, I took it all on myself. Night after night, I drank, I ate, I forced down glass after glass of liquor until my stomach burned raw.
For her. Always for her. And she never remembered. That's how I landed the company's biggest deal. But the price was steep.
I drank so much that night I ended up in the hospital, stomach bleeding, clinging to life. The recovery was long, and when I finally returned to work, I discovered Ella had taken the credit for everything I'd done. I was furious. But then she did something she rarely ever did. She softened. She called me baby, kissed me, whispered that she loved me. And just like that, blinded by love, I forgave her. Looking back now, I want to slap that version of myself.
For a short while, she pretended to care.
She hovered when I took my medicine, scolded me when I skipped meals.
But eventually, even that vanished. My pain became an inconvenience.
Whenever my stomach flared up, she rolled her eyes and called me a drama queen.
And still, I followed her.
To every spicy hot pot restaurant she adored, swallowing pain with every bite, telling myself it was worth it just to see her smile. But tonight, sitting across from her, I knew I was done sacrificing myself. When Ella realized her mistake, she backpedaled quickly.
Okay, no hot pot. Let's go to the tea restaurant.
You like pork tripe chicken soup, right? I stared at her, puzzled.
She froze, not understanding.
Slowly, I shook my head. Ella Davis, I don't like pork tripe chicken soup.
I never did.
Not once since I was a kid.
Her face reddened with embarrassment.
Just then, the doorbell rang again. I opened the door, took the takeout from the delivery man, and without looking at her, said, Natalie and I are going to eat. Can you leave now? Ella stormed forward, setting the cake down on the table, her cheeks flushed in anger, her lips twisted in a pout. Samuel Reed, I've already swallowed my pride to apologize to you. Don't act like you're so innocent, as if you're the victim here.
I raised my eyes to hers.
So what you're saying is, no matter what you do, as long as you apologize, I'm supposed to forgive you.
She planted her hands on her hips, defiant. What if I don't apologize?
You're not going to leave me anyway.
Her arrogance stunned me. She truly believed she owned me.
And maybe before, She was right. Every time she pretended to reconcile, I caved. That's why she thought she could do anything and still keep me. But this time, she was wrong. My eyes fell on the cake.
What's the filling?
I asked flatly. She lifted the lid. Mango.
Why?
You love mangoes, don't you?
A bitter laugh escaped me.
I looked at her with a mocking gaze. Ella Davis.
I have a severe mango allergy.
So tell me, who were you thinking of when you ordered this cake?
Her face froze. She had forgotten. Again.
But I hadn't forgotten the night that allergy nearly killed me. It was our anniversary, not long after we started dating. I was working late, too busy to celebrate. Suddenly, she appeared in the office, smiling, playful. She blindfolded me, pressed a spoon into my mouth. Surprise. Aren't you happy?
At first, I was. Until I tasted the mango.
I bolted, spitting it out, coughing, heart racing. Instead of concern, her first words were blame.
What are you doing? I made that cake myself.
You're ruining it. Desperate, I shouted. Ella, I've told you 1,000 times, I'm allergic to mango. Her expression shifted, sheepish.
It should be fine.
You only had a little. I'll get you some allergy medicine. I wanted her to come with me to the hospital.
But she didn't. She ran off instead.
And minutes later, I collapsed, numb, dizzy, struggling to breathe.
With the last of my strength, I dialed 911.
When I woke, I was in a hospital bed.
Alone.
The nurse said I was lucky.
A little later and my heart could have stopped.
I asked, weakly, if my girlfriend had been by.
The nurse gave me a strange look.
She came once, but only for a short while.
You've been unconscious for a day.
She hasn't been back.
The disappointment hollowed me out. Back then, I told myself she was just busy. But now, I see the truth. She remembered Jason Miller's favorite foods. Mangoes. Tea restaurants. Hot pot. Midnight barbecues. She remembered his likes perfectly. But mine?
She forgot, not because she was careless, but because she didn't care. Excuse me, Ella, what year's calendar are you looking at? Our anniversary already passed.
I remember that day clearly.
I asked you out, but you told me you were too busy. Her face froze, shocked. And looking at her now, I felt nothing but disgust. I had reminded her.
I had waited for her.
She promised me we'd celebrate together, but she forgot. She ignored my calls while I stood outside the restaurant, drenched by the rain, waiting like a fool. And when she finally picked up, the first thing I heard wasn't worry or apology. It was her voice, sharp, annoyed, yelling at me. Are you kidding me?
I told you I was working. Why do you keep calling? Do you want to die?
Even then, I wasn't angry. I was only worried about her safety. Once I knew she was fine, I hung up, not trusting myself to say another word. Later, while sheltering in a convenience store, I sat by the window with a cheap dinner in hand. Outside, a couple walked by, sharing an umbrella, laughing softly. And when the streetlight caught her face, my heart stopped.
It was Ella Davis. She wasn't in the office. She wasn't drowning in work.
She was dressed to perfection, walking arm in arm with Jason Miller. She tried to explain later. He was sick.
I was just taking care of him. He doesn't have anyone else here. I didn't want to hear it. Didn't want to pick apart her excuses anymore.
Ella Davis, do you not understand? It's over between us. For the first time, she realized I meant it. Panic crossed her face. She grabbed my hand, her voice trembling. Samuel, please don't be like this. I know I've made mistakes, but I was wrong. Just forgive me.
But I'd forgiven her too many times. I pulled my hand away.
Until yesterday, I still thought, if you remembered my birthday, if you stayed away from Jason Miller, maybe I could pretend none of this happened. But Ella, what did you do? You forgot my birthday, didn't you? And I heard everything you said to him outside that restaurant. Her voice turned soft, sweet, desperate.
I've just been so busy.
Next time, I won't forget birthdays or anniversaries. Please forgive me. But her words didn't touch me anymore. 10 years of knowing her, and now all I felt was disgust. My voice was cold, carrying the same disdain she had once shown me.
We've known each other since high school.
Can't you at least end things with dignity? Why should I remember you only with contempt? Her eyes widened, tears spilling down like shattered glass. So why exactly are you breaking up with me?
I didn't hesitate.
Because I don't love you anymore.
Her sobs broke into the air, raw and uncontrolled.
And then, in her fury, she rushed toward Natalie, hand raised to strike. But Natalie was faster. She caught Ella's wrist mid-A. I stepped forward, yanking Ella's hand away. Ella Davis, have you lost your mind? Her eyes filled with disbelief. Samuel Reed, are you really scolding me for this woman?
I cut her off. I don't want to look at you anymore.
We're done.
But Natalie White is my friend. Any other woman would have left in shame. But not Ella.
She clung to me, desperate, trembling.
Samuel, I've thought about it. I can't live without you. I love you. I've already cut ties with Jason.
Please, forgive me. I pulled my hand free, my gaze filled with disgust.
No matter how many times you ask, my answer won't change.
I won't forgive you. And I don't care whether you're with Jason Miller or not. Her voice cracked into a scream. Are you serious? Even if I married Jason Miller, you wouldn't care. I warned her, Jason is no good. He left you once already.
But she snapped, cutting me off. I don't want to hear it. At least he loves me. So I let it go. My voice turned cold. Then remember to invite me.
After all, we've known each other for years. I'll send you both a wedding gift.
That cut deeper than any curse.
She glared, trembling, then stormed out. Natalie stayed behind, quiet, calm.
I turned, apologizing softly.
Sorry to scare you. She only smiled, unpacking the takeout. Ella's temper hasn't changed since college.
Don't mention her, I muttered.
Natalie just laughed gently, shifting the subject.
We talked late into the night.
And though we'd known each other for years, it felt like I was meeting her for the very first time. For the next month, Ella vanished from my life. Without her shadow, I poured myself into work.
And the world rewarded me. I landed a major project. Got promoted.
Even Owen joked that while I was unlucky in love, I was winning big in life.
Natalie and I moved like a team, our rhythm flawless.
And then, the silence broke. On the very day I celebrated my promotion, Ella Davis reappeared, this time, with a wedding invitation.
Hers. And Jason Miller's.
I stared at their photo on the card, the two of them smiling like a perfect couple.
And I said nothing.
Natalie came by my office one morning, holding her own invitation. When she noticed the one on my desk, she just shrugged, giving me that knowing look. Ella Davis had sent them to both of us deliberately. A provocation, maybe, but I had already agreed, and by then, my heart felt nothing for her. On the day of the wedding, I gave the largest gift among our friends.
People noticed. They whispered.
Some even came over to greet me, curious how I was holding up, knowing my history with the bride. I only smiled, said a few polite words, and drifted back to Natalie's side. And then, the ceremony began. Ella appeared in her white gown. Countless times I had imagined this moment in my dreams. And yet, standing there now, watching her walk toward another man, I felt nothing at all. When the officiant asked if she would take Jason Miller as her husband, she paused. Slowly, her eyes sought me out across the crowd. That flicker in her gaze, a desperate hope that I might rise, shout, stop everything. Jason's glare cut across the aisle, sharp enough to kill. The room seemed to hold its breath. But I didn't move. I only lifted my glass and toasted them, calm, detached. The shock on Ella's face was unmistakable. Then came anger. She stomped her foot like a child and turned to Jason, her voice sharp. I do. Afterward, Natalie and I left together. Outside her apartment, she suddenly grabbed my hand. Her voice trembled. Samuel Reed, when Ella looked at you, didn't you feel, even for a moment, the urge to stop the wedding? The question surprised me, but my answer was steady. Not at all. Relief washed over her. She took a deep breath. There's something I've wanted to say for a long time.
Samuel, I like you.
Will you be my boyfriend? Her words tumbled out like a burden lifted. I smiled, ruffling her hair gently. Silly. Isn't it supposed to be the guy who confesses first? She blinked up at me in confusion, until I pulled out the necklace I'd been saving. Natalie White. I like you. Will you be my girlfriend? Her mouth fell open in surprise before she threw herself into my arms. The streetlight stretched our shadows across the pavement, long and entwined. A year later, We were the ones standing before an altar. On our wedding day, Owen drank too much and spilled what he had been holding in for months.
He told me about Ella.
Her life after Jason was a descent into hell. Within a month, her dowry was gone. Jason bled her family dry, gambling until even the house was lost. And when Ella begged for a divorce, he beat her. One drunken night, he pushed her from a third-floor balcony. If not for a passerby, she wouldn't have survived. She lived, but would never walk again. Jason fled, only to die running from the police, falling from a rooftop. I listened in silence, the glass in my hand trembling. I had warned her, told her Jason was no good, but she never listened. Natalie stayed quiet for a long time after Owen's story. Then, slowly, she reached for my hand. I held it tightly, meeting her eyes. No matter what happened before, I said, steady, certain, from now on, it's only us. And with that, I closed the book on Ella Davis, for good.